You are listening to KPFT Houston.
It's a little scary on Earth tonight. In all the darkness, it's kinda hard to see the light. We need more people with compassionate and fewer commandos. Stand up for what's right on Vegan World Radio. Vegan World Radio. Vegan World Radio. Vegan World Radio. It's time to live. It's time to grow. Vegan World Radio. Vegan World Radio. No more animal rodeos. Standing up for animals is a different kind of fight. When corporations keep the truth far from our sight, but the ones who see the truth can't ever let it go. The truth is alive on Vegan World Radio. Vegan World Radio. Vegan World Radio. It's time to live. It's time to grow. Vegan World Radio. Vegan World Radio. An animal-free fandango. Climate chaos, a daunting planetary plight. Temperatures reaching annual record heights. If the world ends tomorrow, I'll see you in the afterglow. The postmortem's live on Vegan World Radio. Vegan World Radio. Vegan World Radio. It's time to live. It's time to grow. Vegan World Radio. Vegan World Radio. The One Health message in stereo. Rocket leaves right now. You've got a ticket for this flight. Did you think we'd let you leave alone? The stars are burning bright. Strap in tight, ready for takeoff. Ignition, here we go. It's Monday night and time for your Vegan World Radio. Vegan World Radio. Vegan World Radio. It's time to live. It's time to grow. Vegan World Radio. Vegan World Radio. Let love be your dynamo.
Oh my gosh, it's Monday night in Space City, Houston at kpft.org, streaming live at 90.1 FM on the FM dial. My name is Skyjack Morgan. I'm here with Dr. Crystal Heath. Hello, Dr. Crystal Heath. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you? Are you watching Pluribus by any chance?
No, I'm not watching Pluribus. I don't have the all the subscription services. I'm just a lowly vegan.
Well, it's something, and it's animal rightsy, and that tomorrow's episode streaming at 6 p.m. Eastern time.
It's animal rightsy?
Yeah, it is totally animal rightsy in a way. It's like Severance animal rightsy. It's my new Severance. And then the next episode is called Got Milk. Actually, it's 9 p.m. Eastern, I believe. So
who's in it? Anybody I know?
Rhea Seehorn, you might know from Better Call Saul.
And yeah, I love that show.
She is phenomenal, a wonderful actress. It's so
she is good.
Smart and funny. And the premise is, I'll just give you the premise real quick.
Well, you got me locked into Severance last time. I ended up getting a new subscription service, all because of you, because you sold me on the animal rightsy angle. And I'm not saying I'm upset about it, but I did let that subscription expire the second that show was no longer airing.
Well,
I should do the same thing again,
I'm just saying, if you're interested in animal rights theory, you might want to consider Pluribus as inspiration.
Interesting.
So the premise is a virus, an alien sort of virus thing infects most human beings on planet Earth, where they all become this hive mind. All consciousness becomes one, and every individual person has the same consciousness that's a collective of all of humanity. Or animality too, we don't know. That is the question. We don't know if it's only humans or also animals' consciousnesses too are in there. We're not entirely sure. But there's just like 10 or so people on planet Earth who are not infected. And the alien virus doesn't know why. And they're trying hard to get these people infected. But the thing about one lady, Carol, who is not infected, is she seems to be the most angry person on Earth, but she's so relatable too in her anger. And um, the people who have been infected by this virus are very Stepford wifey, happy. This is great, and we want you to join us because life is better like this. It's great to just understand everybody. And she is like, no, I don't want to join you guys, and I will do everything to stop that. And it's just really interesting because these mind hive mind people, they're all vegetarian. They don't kill. They don't believe in taking away anybody's agency, but they
But wait
do
a second.
believe
How do they not?
yes, I know, but they do believe in infecting others as a because it is their biological imperative. But they don't kill animals to eat them. But they will, like, they're trying to make Carol and the others who are not infected happy, and they will serve, well, they will do whatever they want. You can ask for anything, and they will give it to you, including meat, but only meat that is already dead. So, yeah,
So
it's
they're
very
like
interesting.
they're like Buddhists. They'll- so they're all they're really cool, and everyone's cool, but do they have their personalities from before the virus? Are they the same people at
No,
all? No,
they
so they're a
are like
completely new
a
entity.
mold of everybody. They have
Mm.
memories from individual people, so they can tell you, like, oh, this person thought this,
Oh
or
yeah,
this
yeah, okay.
person knows this, but and they're
Mm.
in their old bodies, but they'll say, like, this person who I'm inhabiting used to be called Lawrence, and he had many friends, like that sort of thing.
Oh, this sounds like kind of the
But
Borg in Star Trek. They had a lot of animal rightsy type stuff in with the Borg in Star Trek, where they were all like they would go this species would go to a planet and assimilate everybody on the planet, and they would make everything that was unique and beautiful about your species part of theirs. But that was a trick. Like
mhm.
they actually just end up looking the same as everyone just looks like a Borg in the end. They look like these junkyard monstrosities. Uh,
Yep.
but a similar idea, like
So,
they're all kind of one. They kind of know who they were beforehand, but not really. And they're all one. I like this idea. You might have sold me on it. I mean, I'm digging. I'm
mhm.
watching It right now. The new Dairy is Scary, I call it, because there's an animal rights thing called Dairy is Scary, but it's called Welcome to Dairy actually, and it's about a killer clown but you don't know that you know that it's the clown from the movie, but it's a hunter and it's trying to kill the kids and everything, and they know that they're on this hunting ground of this monster, but the military, it also just wants to capture this predator in order to use it to end the Cold War, which I think is hilarious because it's like we don't want to be hunted, and we're doing everything we can to not be hunted, but all we want to do is capture this hunter in order to drop it into Russia or someplace and end the Cold War with this fear monster thing. I'm sure
Hmm.
you've seen
And it's
it.
called It.
It's called It Welcome to Dairy. Yeah, and it's
It's Welcome to Dairy. Okay. And it's a
yeah.
TV show or it's a
It's an
movie?
yeah, it's like a serialized TV show on
Okay.
HBO. Yeah, but
On HBO.
it always has like it has plus it's got American Indian situation because the tribe they've known about it since before Europeans came to the continent. They've known about this creature that lives there and can like make them afraid and also hunts. And it gets like crazier every 27 years. This creature gets crazier, crazier, crazier and wants to eat more and more humans. But it won't eat them unless it can taste their adrenaline because it wants them to be afraid. So it like marinates you by getting you more and more afraid until it finally kills you and eats you. It's it's kind of you never
Okay.
seen the movie It? You never saw those movies?
I think I did a long time ago. I
The
don't really
movies were
remember
like,
that.
meh, whatever. Some people love them, but I'm digging the show. I'm digging the show a lot.
Okay.
I thought it was gonna be lame, but I'm liking it. And there's also an animal rights angle because the American Indians are living there and they're just like trying to stay safe. But then the Europeans come and they're being hunted by this, and then their best idea, rather than try to stay safe and just contain this beast, they and live away from it. They want to capture it and then drop them in, weaponize this space creature monster thing. And so there's a lot of kind of fun philosophical stuff happening between the scares. I know you like scary stuff, so I think you might dig it.
No, I
'Cause
don't actually.
no, I'm just
My life
joking.
is scary enough as it is.
But the scares are legitimate for a TV show. Like what they could do with CGI these days and what they're able to do. It's good. It's if you like that kind of what they're doing, they're taking pieces of Stephen King's giant tome that wasn't included in the It movies, and they're telling kind of like the fun parts of the story that they weren't able to tell within the constraints of film. So
Interesting.
yes, you're getting some
Okay.
cool other stuff. There's some racial tones, and I think a lot of it's a little animal rightsy when viewed through that lens. So,
Okay.
yeah,
And it's
I'm
called
liking-
Welcome to Dairy.
Yeah,
is the-
exactly. Yeah, Derry is the name of the town.
Oh, okay. So
But
not
dairy
dairy
makes
as
you-
in the milk. Okay.
It makes you
Well-
think of that though, because of I think that there's definitely an intention there as why it's called
Interesting.
dairy. Yes.
Well, speaking of milk, the Whole Milk
Yes.
for Healthy Kids Act, S222, has passed the Senate with an amendment by unanimous consent on October 20th.
That
So this
unanimous consent
means-
thing is real popular this year.
Yeah. More than a decade after whole milk was removed from school cafeterias, Congress is reconsidering whether students should have the freedom to enjoy it and its many nutrients. This would overturn USDA's 2012 restrictions that limited schools to providing only fat-free 1% milk. The proposal, which aligns with recommendations from the Make America Healthy Again Commission, comes as policymakers and farmers and processors look to revitalize a category that has steadily lost market share and reconnect children to the benefits and taste of milk.
Reconnect
Fluid
me
milk.
to the matrix. They want to be reconnect the kids to the
Yes.
matrix. But when you were a kid, did they force you to drink whole milk? I remember there was whole milk when I was a kid in school. Did you have whole
I
milk when you were?
Don't remember that. And I grew up drinking unpasteurized goat's milk, so whole milk or milk in general tasted quite weird and sour to me.
Yeah.
But then I had to get used to it, and that's just what happened.
Yeah, I guess
um,
so.
And they
You get used to
what
it.
a
You can get used to
great
anything.
marketing plan that milk came up with. If only we could introduce animal-free foods the same way milk did.
Force people to
but-
get used to it and be like, "Don't worry, you'll get you. It tastes
Yes.
different. Don't worry, you'll get used to it."
Despite the fact that a large percentage of people of color, are lactose
Or
intolerant.
lactose intolerant. Mhm.
It's so maddening, and people have to take pills in order to digest
Oh,
it.
I know
But
people like
despite
that.
all of that, that is the answer.
I know people in the Latino community because, Mexican food in the United States is like covered in dairy. But when you go to Mexico, dairy's hardly used. But
Yeah.
when you come to the States, it's kind of the same food plus eggs and dairy, basically. And they're taking pills in order to enjoy the meals that they consider to be traditional, even though stateside, those are not traditional Mexican meals. But yeah, crazy to me.
And you're just enriching wealthy white men at the top.
Sell the
with your
disease,
milk
sell the
consumption.
cure. Yeah.
Yeah. Fluid milk consumption in the U.S. has fallen nearly 50% since 1975, from 247 pounds per person to 128 pounds in 2023, including a
seems like a lot.
28% drop since 2010. The decline is not uniform across all dairy products, however. Cheese consumption, including cottage cheese, more than doubled from 18.8 pounds per person in 1975 to 42.3 pounds in 2023, a 124% jump. Butter use climbed from 4.7 to 6.5 pounds, a 37% increase, and yogurt intake surged over 600% from 1.9 to 13.8 1.8 pounds over the same period, because all of those products are those like value added, more processing, make more profit from selling these products
I also
than you
think
do
Paula
just by selling
Dean,
milk.
Paula Dean putting a stick of butter on
Well,
everything on the cooking channel.
she was probably, a part of that whole marketing
Oh, yes,
thing.
she was definitely. Come on, put more
Yeah.
butter on it. I went to Paula Dean's restaurant. I didn't go inside. Well, I poked my head in because I wanted to look. I went down there. I think it's in Savannah. And yeah, just butter on everything. More butter, more butter. I did think it was hilarious when she started doing advertisements for diabetes medicine, which again, sell the disease, sell the cure. It's brilliant.
And the wild part is people think that diabetes comes from eating too much sugar, which to a
apples.
point it does. But for you, I learned a lot, at the Veg Fest about how diabetes comes from too much fat and too much protein often. And so
And not enough
like a
fiber.
high dairy diet, yeah, lack of fiber is a huge thing. The high dairy is just perpetuating type 2 diabetes. But
Yes.
schools account for roughly 7.5% of US fluid milk sales. So that is a huge market, and 45.5% of milk offered to school kids was wasted over the course of the week.
Yeah, because you throw it away. Because I mean, we
yeah.
wouldn't drink all that. We just throw it in the garbage. They give you milk and you throw it away. Why would you? It's just gross. But Doctor, 7.5%, Dr. Heath, that
Yes.
sounds like a high number. When you say it's schools are paying for 7.5%, what do you really mean? Who's actually paying for that 7.5%? Yeah, we
Taxpayers.
are, the taxpayers. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you and I are paying for the 7.5. So basically,
But
imagine
of course,
what a great business model.
overall,
I want 7.5%
I
of
would
my
love updated numbers on this, but we know 73% of dairy revenues come from some form of subsidy, according to
subsidies
a
and contracts. Yeah.
2015 dairy industry study. So, but the good thing about this whole bill is that schools participating in the National School Lunch Program now have more flexibility to offer nutritionally equivalent non-dairy milks like soy milk, oat, almond, and pea-based instead of or in addition to cow's milk, provided those non-dairy options meet USDA nutritional standards. And that's the thing we have to check up on and not just claim victory, because are they going to allow soy milk? Because oat milk has not enough protein. Almond milk does not have enough protein.
I remember reading a thing on the USDA that the only alternative milk, the non-dairy milk that meets USDA nutritional standards is soy milk. So I feel like soy milk's going to slide right in, which I'm fine with. I like soy milk. I'm an old school. You're an old school vegan. I mean, you like which do you like best?
I love soy milk's my go-to.
Yeah, I like soy.
That's
Me
what
too.
I buy. Yeah,
me too. Yeah, soy milk, you can use it for everything. It's really versatile. You can get it in a couple different flavors. It's fine. It's great. High protein, usually B12 fortified. I'm happy with that. So I don't know. I'm happy with this because I've always wondered, when you talk about, like, we have the school lunch program that forces schools to buy lunch, but I also know that the USDA, it's against the law for them to just kind of like talk dirty about other agricultural products in their programs for another agricultural product. So like Aubrey Plaza, when she did that thing and she was talking trash on plant milks, they got sued because they were using taxpayer dollars to make that ad, and it was talking trash on soy, basically, which is against the law. So I've always wondered why this wasn't also against the law. We can only do dairy in schools. That's all you're allowed. Well, that seems that seems counter the soy industry. It seems like it should be illegal, and maybe that's why they're doing this.
Yep.
Maybe.
The bill removes some red tape. For example, the barrier where students could only get a non-dairy substitute if they had a documented disability and only after a physician's note. The parent or guardian option now makes access easier. So,
and before anybody starts talking about soy allergies, it's far less frequent. Soy allergy is far less frequent than dairy or egg allergies, or peanuts for that matter.
So yeah, it's still, I think there's still some lobbying to be happening, but we will keep our eye on that. And a quick Miami Seaquarium update. So Miami Seaquarium, we've been talking about it for a long time, closed down all the mammals and birds and reptiles are being transferred to other facilities, but unfortunately, the facilities are often, in many cases, worse than Miami Seaquarium, so our work is not yet done.
No.
We had hoped for AZA-accredited facilities, but many of these are not. The worst situation is the sea lion splash. The dolphin company proposal includes the transfer of 3 harbor seals and 9 California sea lions to this traveling sea lion show, Sea Lion Splash.
Why do
Animal
the
Rights
pinnipeds always get the worst end of the stick? Don't they always get the worst bargain?
Well,
The
I think
pinnipeds, the dolphins too, I guess.
Dolphins do. Animal rights activists, including PETA, have called on the local county fairs to cancel sea lion shows, which occur 3 times a day. There's lots of USDA citations for sea lion splash and lots of sketchy stuff. So it also sounds like the trailer that they haul them in is not sufficient in size for long-term housing. And there's no updates about them getting a new one, so they're probably still in violation. And
What happens
on
when
their,
that thing
their
crashes
US
on the interstate?
Yeah, exactly. On the USDA forms, they only have 3 female sea lions previously. So now they're going to accommodate all of these others, 3 harbor seals, 9 California sea lions for a facility that previously only had 3. This is crazy. And we need to go to all of the Sea Lion Splash shows, documented. If you know of anybody who works there, reach out to me at info@ourhonor.org. Go to these shows, send me footage. I want to know follow this truck on the road. Let's start.
If you see the sea splash, the sea lion splash truck, take a picture of it, send it in, because I'd love to keep an eye on them.
Others include the Indianapolis Zoo. So the Dolphin Company hopes to transfer 4 bottlenose dolphins, Cayman, Cobalt, Denise, and Gemini, to the Indianapolis Zoo. If you know anybody who is near there, tell them to go to the Indianapolis Zoo, take some footage, let us know what the conditions that they're housing those dolphins in, and send it to info@ourhonor.org. Also, the Dolphin Research Center, Miami Seaquarium, plans to transfer 2 dolphins, 3 harbor seals, 2 sea lions to the Dolphin Research Center on Grassy Key in the Florida Keys. The dolphins are Samantha and JJ. The 2 sea lions are Raleigh and Clyde, and the 3 seals are Baby Ace and Kane. And then the Dolphin Company is going to transfer Zoe, a 19-year-old male bottlenose dolphin, Aries, a 23-year-old male bottlenose dolphin, Ripley, a 32-year-old male bottlenose dolphin, and Onyx, a 26-year-old male bottlenose dolphin, to the Dolphin Rescue Center, Dolphin Life in Key Largo. I do not know anything about this facility, so if anybody does know,
it's got the word rescue center
out.
in it. It makes me feel like cautiously optimistic.
I don't know.
32 years old. They're not making that. They're not making old Ripley jump through hoops anymore. 32 years old.
Well, I don't think jumping through hoops is the worst part of their existence. I think they probably have a good time doing that. So they are also sending 11 African penguins to the Tanganyika Wildlife Park in Goddard, Kansas. So take a road trip to Goddard, Kansas. Take a road trip. And they're going to transfer a 12-year-old male harbor seal to the Seattle Aquarium. And they are transferring 2 Argentine black and white tegus, a bearded dragon, a black-tongued skink, a ball python, and a Euromastix to the Miami-Dade Zoo, Miami, which I didn't even know they had those little reptiles. I never saw them when I went there and investigated. They are transferring their 27 American flamingos to the Nova Wild Zoo in Reston, Virginia. So I hope they do well there. And they are transferring ownership of a 22-year-old bottlenose dolphin named Nolani to the Brookfield Zoo in Illinois. And it looks like that dolphin is probably already there. So I know somebody in Chicago who's going to go check out that situation. So that's your Miami Seaquarium update. If you know anything, reach out. Email me at info@ourhonor.org.
Is there anything to be grateful for and all of that? I mean, this is Thanksgiving's coming up. Is there anything to be grateful for? I mean, we worked so hard to get Miami
I know we all
Seaquarium
want
closed, but
feel good stuff, but
yeah, I mean,
our
that's
work
the
is
week.
never done.
Our work is never done, but we need to celebrate small victories and be thankful for what we have, don't we? Or else, how do we keep the optimism, keep hope alive? What? I guess that would be.
Gaslighting? I don't know.
No,
I
you're
don't
the
know.
one who always asks what gives you hope. I think it's a good question. I mean, it's just grateful. I'm grateful for the fact that Miami Seaquarium is going to close, but then I see all this, and you're right. Like, job's not done. One
Nope.
out of the fire, out of
Keep
the
on
frying
going.
pan
I'm
into the
grateful
fire.
for the attention and the slight dismantling of public trust in the zoo industry. There's that. And hopefully the story of how the animals are not better off will further dismantle public trust in the zoo industry and will lead to more investigations of all of these facilities where these animals will go.
Well,
So that's what I'm hopeful for.
I'm hopeful for that too. I am also grateful to all our listeners here at kpft.org who tune in to Vegan World Radio. Anyone who has contributed to the station, thank you so much. If you contribute $100, we'll send you a Vegan World Radio t-shirt as long as you pick Vegan World Radio from that drop-down menu and tell them you want a t-shirt. We'll send you an awesome one. Go to kpft.org. Drop a penny in the pot for the station, please. Listener-supported radio is so important right now, and it's never been under attack more than it is today. So please, if you like what we do, you find any value in what KPFT offers, please make sure it stays alive. It's up to you to do that. Go to kpft.org and, do a donation. I'm so thankful for, I was looking at my my YouTube, what do you call it, analytics, and all of a sudden, all these people from Houston are listening to my YouTube show. It says Houston, 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 and so I'm so grateful that we're doing this show, and there's so many people who like it, and I'm stoked. So thank you, everybody.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to take a look at my YouTube channel, you can find me, Crystal Heath. Check it out if you're interested.
Definitely.
So on Friday, November 21st, unfortunately, a person in Washington state who kept backyard poultry died from H5N5 flu. This person was the first known infection with this subtype of flu globally and the second recorded death in the U.S. from an H5 flu virus.
This is crazy.
Health authorities say there's no evidence the person spread the flu to others, and the person was an older adult with underlying health conditions.
She died.
He, I don't know the gender of this person, but so here's the backstory on H5N5. On May 26, 2023, Canada reported an outbreak of bird flu in New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island in American crows and a red-tailed hawk that were affected. Then on May 31st, 2023, it was found in mammals for the first time. Raccoons were found dead. Then December 30th, 2024, H5N5 was detected in a lynx. So then nothing about H5N5 for a while. This person was undiagnosed for 10 days, possibly longer. They collected a sample on the 10th of November, presumptive H5 positive on the 13th. Then the full sequence was uploaded on the 14th. Then the 17th, they found the backyard flock was infected. And at this point, over 100 healthcare workers had contact with this individual. And some of these contacts, according to reports, appeared to be symptomatic. And I should check my messages. I got a whistleblower who informed me of this person in the hospital before it made any media reports. And they were like, keep it confidential. And I'm like, why?
Yeah,
why are we keeping it confidential?
Why? That's not much of a whistleblow. That's like a
no.
A whistleblowing is loud, not confident. But Dr.
Yeah,
Heath,
and I'm like, why am I keeping this quiet? But anyway, on the 21st, the patient died. So that was
Yes.
11 days after they collected the sample.
Yeah, a few days ago, he or she, I think it was I think they were a she, but they died. And But doctor, I gotta ask because I'm thinking about H5N1 this whole time, and now you're coming at me with this H5N5. What am I supposed to? What's H5N5? Why is that the new thing? I thought H5N1 was the problem.
There's lots of viruses floating around, and there's also the seasonal flu, H3N2, which I guess is really bad this year. And I haven't gotten my flu vaccine yet. I'm gonna go get it. There's
Mm.
also RSV and COVID hitting around where nobody's vaccinating anymore. And so it's gonna be a really bad year, like it was last year. Remember we were talking about all of how the
Well,
hospitals were
here in
full.
Texas, we
Uh,
had measles
yeah,
break. I mean, maybe measles. I mean, measles is coming back with us with a vengeance.
yeah.
So I don't know what is measles. Does it have a designation? H5N something else? But okay, so why
No,
is
measles
H5?
is a different
I
thing.
know, I'm just joshing you. But what
Yeah.
about H5N5? Is it more dangerous? Is it less? What do we know about H5N5 and how it differs from H5N1, the bird flu that I'm familiar with after all this going on?
I think we don't know a whole lot about it.
Okay.
And I'm also worried. I just got some FOIA documents in that basically their testing strategy is first they're testing people for the seasonal flu. If they test positive for this seasonal flu, no further testing done,
Mm.
which is a problem because some people can be infected with more than one
Mm-hmm.
influenza virus at the same time. I think we should be surveilling larger populations and seeing how many people have, subtyping these viruses a little bit more because we don't know how prevalent it is in the population. So that this is, I think, how many of the previous infections that we discovered, we stopped at H5
Yeah.
and we were just like, oh, this is an H5, okay, and we
Yeah.
didn't subtype it further. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe.
Like this is the problem with this lack of surveillance going on. So
Yeah, I'm usually an anti-surveillance type of guy, but when this type of thing, I feel like we should be keeping an eye on these viruses. Let's keep
access to
less
care,
of.
diagnostics.
There
This
you
is what
go.
it's all about.
Yeah, maybe we
It's
should
not
keep less of.
about,
Mm.
yeah.
Keep less of an eye on our citizens, keep more of an eye on the viruses.
Yes. How about that?
I like that
Um,
idea.
so Farm Forward just
Mm.
released this amazing report about
Oh yeah, I saw that.
salmonella in our meat packing plants. So chicken and turkey meats alone, just in time for Thanksgiving, Christmas, the holidays, account for 25% of all salmonella outbreaks or 320,000 cases each year. And the CDC estimates that 1 in every 25 packages of chicken at the grocery store are contaminated with salmonella. But it might even be more than that. The
Mm-hmm.
performance standards set by FSIS, which is the Food Safety and Inspection Service, which is under the USDA umbrella, to track salmonella in the industry allow for a significant level of salmonella contamination, and the agency does not have the authority to enforce even these anemic standards. As a result, a substantial amount of chicken and turkey remains contaminated with salmonella, putting the public at risk.
Yeah, and this is so
So
important because people get salmonella into that. Once it enters the house, people are like, "Oh, I'm going to cook the chicken. What difference does it make?" Yeah, but you put the chicken on the counter. You cut the chicken with a knife. You handle the chicken with your hand, and then you've got salmonella all over the house. It's very easy. It's very easily
and
spread.
if you throw a chunk of raw salmonella infected chicken to your dog or
Oh
your
yeah.
cat, a lot of people say, oh, but dogs and cats don't get sick with salmonella. They do, not as frequently as humans do. So people often get away with it like, oh, a little diarrhea, like, or nothing, and they don't even
Mm-hmm.
notice. But that dog is shedding salmonella out all over your house, all over your floor, your
Yeah.
kids crawling on the floor, salmonella everywhere.
Lick in your
Be-
face.
yeah, it's all over now. Like, so that's
Yeah.
why don't feed your dogs and your cats raw chicken meat. And this is,
Or
yeah, so,
turkeys, or turkeys. It's
or
Thanksgiving.
turkeys,
I mean, I know a
any
lot of
raw.
people are going to insert their whole arm into the body cavity of a turkey on Thursday and rummage around in there, putting a bunch of bread into the body cavities in order to use the body of the turkey as its own little oven. And they do that while it's raw, and then they go and they prepare other foods, and they're
Yeah.
not concerned with food safety, not wearing gloves or boiling things. man, I'm from in the restaurant world. We're super careful about stuff like that. And
Yeah.
a salmonella outbreak, that'll close you down. You could kill somebody.
Yeah. So FSIS samples poultry at select slaughter and processing plants on a schedule dictated by plant size and product volume. The largest establishments are typically sampled up to 5 times per month. Smaller establishments are sampled less frequently, and low volume establishments are not subject to sampling requirements, which I thought they would be sampling every day. But foolish me, I guess that's not what they're doing. So maximum allowable percentages of contaminated products are specific to different types of poultry products at each plant. The highest are in comminuted or finely minced or ground chicken products. So 25% of those samples are allowed to be contaminated with salmonella. 25%. Comminuted turkey products, 13.5%. Chicken parts, 15.4%. Chicken carcasses allow for 9.8%, and turkey carcasses 7.1%. So if you exceed that, you're a category 3, and that's reserved for establishments that exceed the maximum allowable percentage and fail the standard. It seems sensible that when a plant fails the performance standard and receives a category 3 rating, FSIS would take corrective or enforcement action to ensure salmonella contamination would be eliminated or at least reduced. That is not the case. USDA has the authority to issue category specific reports on testing, but it does not have the authority to enforce the standards it sets. The agency cannot issue penalties for consistently high salmonella contamination levels, let alone suspend a plant or shut it down. They can only ask companies to voluntarily pull products from the shelves when there is an outbreak.
Pretty please, could you please not kill somebody? Please, you've got some salmonella in your product. Could you please not kill anybody? You can't force anybody. Just these paper tigers. Have you ever had salmonella, Dr. Heath?
No, I have not. That I'm aware of.
You would know. You would know. Have you ever known anybody? I had a girlfriend once that had salmonella. I thought she was gonna die. Die. Gelato. She got it from gelato. Oh my God.
Wow.
No way, man. Horrible. So tell me.
FSIS confirms that it does not issue any administrative actions or withhold products from commerce based on a plant's violation of salmonella standards. It added failure to meet the salmonella performance standards triggers additional inspection follow-up both in sampling and in food safety program review, which may identify non-compliances or enforcement issues. In other words, exceeding salmonella performance standards results in additional monitoring that may identify other more enforceable violations, but there are no consequences for repeatedly exceeding sampling standards.
Well, what's the best way to eliminate salmonella or bring it down to manageable amounts? Like, what's the best way not to bring salmonella into your house or to just not have salmonella killing large swaths of humanity?
No animal-based protein. That's the best way. Although, who knows? I don't know how many vegetables are contaminated.
But they're contaminated because they're spraying them with poop.
Yeah.
So, like, if you got rid of animal protein production, then they would stop because you wouldn't have an excess now of animal poop to spray in all your carrots and romaine lettuce. People always, romaine lettuce is dangerous and you don't cook it, so you might have salmonella. Yeah, but your guys are spraying it with poop. Stop spraying it with poop.
Yes. So in this report, 100% of Michigan turkey products, plants rated category 3, 100% of Purdue turkey products, which sell under Harvest Land brands, are category 3. Butterball selling under Butterball, Carolina Turkey, Just Perfect Farm Family brands, Cargill selling under Honeysuckle White, Shady Brook Farms, and Foster Farms Chicken had at least half of their plants rated category 3.
So all of them basically. I mean, Butterball is a giant. Butterball's the largest, right? When it comes to like Thanksgiving turkeys, when we're talking about like the 46 million turkeys being killed, huh?
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't
It's
know.
one of
I
them.
know that of the top three, it's Butterball, Jenny-O,
Genio.
and Cargill. I don't know who's
Yes.
the biggest of all of them.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter who's the biggest. Like the top three, you're right. Butterball, Genio, and Cargill. But Butterball's the one doing the pardon this year, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. So when Donald Trump pardons one or two, he pardons two turkeys, right? And he pardons one or two turkeys out of 46 million who will meet their end for the voracious appetites of tradition.
And it's a great little marketing event for the turkey industry. And Donald Trump just does a song and dance just for them, just like an obedient little president he is,
An
serving at the
obedient little
behest
organ grinder
of
monkey. Yes.
yes.
But every president does it. Donald Trump isn't unique in this. I had to look it up. That the people always say we've been doing this since Abraham Lincoln. No, that's not true. It was 1989 when it started. It hasn't been going that long. I thought it was way older than that. This turkey dance that you just said, the little turkey dance, 1989. It's not that long ago. I mean, this is what's so funny. A lot of times, when you're vegan, you talk to people about, hey, I don't want to, enslave animals and, do the things that we do to animals. And people are like, we'll be doing it forever. And no, we have not. No, we haven't. Like industrial agriculture as we know today is like 1960s, like this way we're doing it's not that old. 1989 during George Herbert Walker Bush's administration, it was the official pardoning ceremony. But yeah, apparently Abraham Lincoln's son pleaded that the bird intended for Christmas dinner had a right to live just like any other creature. Some people think that's apocryphal, but I mean, that's the legend. But it wasn't until 1989 George Herbert Walker Bush had an official pardoning ceremony, which again, it's not that long ago. We could change it.
Yeah. I mean, and we've never in history eaten as much meat as we do now. So it's and
probably and with all the salmonella info, I think it's even more of a reason to maybe eliminate it from your diet. It's the only way to be sure if you think about it. Benjamin Franklin said that he thought that the turkey was a much better representation of America than the bald eagle, because the bald eagle was of bad moral character, and a turkey was a purely American animal that was a better symbol of a much more respectable bird. He said the turkey was a bird of courage and a true original native of America, and so I love. We have these characters in history like Benjamin Franklin that speak so glowingly of this animal, and then every year people eviscerate 46 million of them, and I find that, and it's way more than, it's like something like 80 million a year, but 46 million just for this holiday, and it's, I don't know, that seems like a high number to me. I know it's not as high as chickens, it's not as high as other animals, but 46 million in this short amount of time just for this one holiday seems like we should be able to change this, right?
And we've lost a ton of them because of bird flu.
That's
and
true, too.
ProPublica just came out with this amazing article that John Corsland, former USDA veterinarian John Corsland, said is Pulitzer Prize worthy. So pay attention. The title is "What the U.S. Government is Missing That Could Seed a Bird Flu Pandemic."
That's a big one.
And the research Nat Lash did on this article is phenomenal. And I've been talking to Nat Lash for a while now. He basically, so he looked at house hens in Dark County, Iowa. And in just 3 months, the virus that erupted in that single Ohio farm spread to flocks with over 18 million hens, or 5% of America's egg layers. So to trace precisely how the virus rippled through more than 80 farms in the region, ProPublica analyzed data on the genetics of the virus, satellite imagery, wind simulations, property records, and trade notices, and consulted with researchers whose peer-reviewed work previously found that the virus can spread on floating feathers and particles of dust. And ProPublica found that virus samples taken from the outbreak sites shared a unique genetic signature, all
what does
linking
that
back
mean?
to house hens. So they just traced it all. all of these outbreaks are all the same genetic material as house hens. And the USDA has been saying, oh no, it's like
It's the wild
the
birds.
wild bird migrations,
Yeah.
they're dropping poop. And that would mean that the virus would be similar to that in wild birds that die and they found in the area. Not true at all. The USDA is totally misleading people about how this is spread, and they've
I
been
remember
saying,
looking at the charts with you about the bird migrations and how the bird migrations and they poop on the cows and that's what's giving them but that's all BS.
Not pooping on the cows, not giving them the virus, but there was the theory that the cows ate a wild dead bird or something like that.
Or that they were in the
there was
food
a couple of
and-
infections.
Yeah.
So
But that's all wrong. It's not true at all. If it's coming from the hen houses, I mean, that's wild.
Spread on
man.
dust.
Yeah.
All of these outbreaks in this area were genetically similar to this house hens thing. And this map reveals a visual representation of a plume of moving dust northwest using weather data between December 22nd and December 31st that shows where the dust would have blown from house hens. And that map highlights the dozens of farms in that plume. Where the wind blew, the virus followed, basically, they found. And within 3 weeks, poultry tested positive at 17 farms, all but one within that plume. And the farms downwind from house hens were about 20 times as likely to see outbreaks. And all of this, the USDA has been talking about how they invested $100 million in trying to make these facilities more biosecure.
Right.
But if it's spread on the wind, if it's going through the ventilation systems, none of that investment is going to work.
And that's something we've been talking about for a while now, you and I,
Yes.
and on our other shows and YouTube channels and everything. We've been talking about this, that like the wind is pushing this from here to here. It's so obvious if you're there. Oh, look at this. This cow farm, though, this dairy producer, they had bird flu right after this egg producer had bird flu. What do you know? No, entirely unrelated.
No, the opposite. The dairy was infected, and then the egg facility across the street was infected a few weeks later.
And then they
so it's
depopulate
spreading
the
from
eggs.
the dairies to the poultry facilities. And also, I think flies play a role in this too.
Okay,
that we need to look at more.
I had to, just as an aside, and not to get too far on a tangent, but it did make me think reading this. Well, didn't DOJ cut the National Weather Service? And people are like, oh, well, we don't need the National Weather Service. What's the big deal? And I know, in Kerr County that we had the flood. That was, the National Weather Service would have been early warning systems would have been great for that. But here, too, again, another thing related to our weather and why I think we shouldn't be cutting the National Weather Service. Just as an aside, just something to think about. These things are connected. Holy crap.
So by mid-March, it had hit 83 farms across 6 counties and 2 states, leaving over 20 million chickens dead, most no further than 15 miles from the first infected farm, which another problem is our densely populated poultry production facilities all packed in one area. That's a huge
all next to each other,
risk. And USDA has been okay, so this is my good friend, veterinarian Simon Shane, who teaches at North Carolina State. He wrote a wonderful hit piece about me, calling me a militant vegan with a streak of zealotry. I still quote that article that he wrote about me regularly. It says, USDA has been grossly negligent in not establishing risk factors in real time. So another Oscar Garrison of the United Egg Producers, who's head of food safety, said there are breeder farms out there that are considered to be bulletproof, that this virus is finding its way inside somehow.
What's on the wind? They call the wind Mariah. This is a situation where, how could you go against the wind? What are you going to raise them and put all these animals in a vacuum sealed building?
A BSL-4 facility, basically.
BSL-4. Yeah, like Jurassic Park, I'm thinking, even in Jurassic Park, the dinosaurs get out. You know what I mean? You cannot contain this.
And Nat Lash discovered, I love this, a new way of identifying which facilities are infected, because of course the public is not deserving of the information of where these places are that are
Of course not.
infected. And so you have to go scrounging, and we've discovered they are based on payment data going to USA.gov dot US
USA spending.
spending.gov and finding the payment data, linking that to outbreaks and discovering which facilities are infected. But Nat Lash did it by going to the FSIS website, and he worked out a way to pinpoint which farms were infected by taking a close look at notices the USDA publishes detailing regions restricted from exporting poultry products due to bird flu outbreaks. And these notices describe a 10-kilometer radius around an outbreak to avoid revealing the actual site. They do give the northernmost point of the circle, and I found that by plotting 5 kilometers south of that point revealed the site of the outbreak. I love that. So you can go to FSIS, Import Export, Library, European Union, and find out where these facilities are. And I will use that from here on out. And John Corsland also wrote this wonderful blog about this piece and talks about Governor Jim Pillen, who is a hog farmer and a veterinarian in Nebraska. He's the governor of Nebraska. I disagree with this man vehemently on most things, but he says basically the virus always wins. And he is right about that.
Yeah.
And you would think he would shift his investments and we would shift our public investments based on this. And his reason for saying that is he doesn't think vaccines are the answer necessarily to this. And of course, we're in this ever escalating arms race.
What's the answer then?
The answer is scaling down our dependence on animal-based protein production and supporting those producers who produce food using animal-free methods, supporting access to high protein, high fiber, animal-free meals, encouraging McDonald's to have wonderful plates of lentils and chickpeas and delicious salads with lots of hummus. And
how do we do that? How do we get them to do that?
It.
Do you think McDonald's is going to change? How do we actually affect this change?
I think we got to make some noise. We got to talk about it. We got to write op-eds. We got to get our quotes in the press. If you are a doctor, if you're an expert of any kind, you have to start communicating with the press. We also have to start communicating more with our legislators, our politicians, and say, this is what we want. We want a resilient food system. We want food security. We want healthy meals. And you should be incentivizing that with our tax dollars, not wasting $100 million on increasing biosecurity to these poultry facilities
of our
and
dollars,
ignoring the fact that it's spread on the wind and it's going through the ventilation systems. So
the wind and the rats and the squirrels and all the other and the cats.
And the flies.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like there's only one answer to this, and it's a vegan world. And thank God we're on Vegan World Radio at kpft.org, streaming live and on 90.1 FM dial in Houston. Do you want to talk about this last piece about Tuskegee? We got a couple minutes left.
Yeah, so I'll do this real quick. So Tuskegee, I was just there a couple weeks ago speaking, and okay. So the history of Tuskegee, it was founded in 1881 by Booker T. Washington as a school for formerly enslaved Black Americans in Alabama.
Yeah.
The veterinary school was established in 1945. It was the first veterinary school at a historically Black college, and it was created specifically to educate Black veterinarians because there was systemic exclusion of Black students at most white veterinary schools, and I think there still is today. Yeah. And that's still going on right now. I have this theory, and we'll go through it. But first, a little bit more about the history of the school. The school continues to train veterinarians, and they focus on food animal medicine, rural practice, public health, community service, and global veterinary medicine.
Okay. What's global veterinary medicine?
Like global, going to different regions, ensuring food security around the world. Because, Cargill is in
They're all
various
everywhere,
regions around the world.
Mhm.
It's a bit problematic, but that's of course. And Tuskegee, honestly, going there, this is not like UC Davis. Their classrooms look like horrible. They definitely have the short end of the stick.
Well, they're
But those
underfunded, right?
students, yeah, absolutely. Those students, though, are the brightest, most engaged students I've ever talked to.
Mm.
And there's a very suspicious pattern happening with their NAVLE score. So NAVLE is the North American Veterinary Licensing Exam.
Yeah, so that's like your
And
big test. It's like your bar or something.
this is what you have to take to become a veterinarian. In 2018, 91% of the class passed the first time. Then 2020, President Trump becomes president.
I heard of
Only
him.
79% passed. Then 70% in 2021. Then 64% in 2022. 57% in 2023.
What?
51% in 2024. And the AVMA says that it expects schools that 80% or more of each college's seniors pass NAVLE by the time they graduate. So this is below the AVMA standards.
But these
so
are
they're at
Biden years.
risk.
These are the Biden years. 2020.
Well, yeah, but the
2020
system
well,
is
not
in
2020, 2021. Yeah, what
yeah.
the heck?
So we are highly suspicious that there's not auditing of what happens to these test scores. And it is very suspicious, a pattern at this school and another school, Western University. It seems like people at Western University, which is another very diverse veterinary school on the West Coast, the students with Hispanic last names, none of them pass on the first time.
What?
We think that they are changing these students' test scores in order to purposefully make these schools that are more diverse lose accreditation so that we have less veterinarians of color.
How would they even
the
execute
veterinary
something?
profession, very easily, because nobody's owes oversight. So here's the thing. We have proof of this, that this is happening. And this is basically a legal document that was submitted. And it says, we have also received corroborated concerning reports about intentional misconduct from candidates and industry professionals. For example, a senior veterinarian whistleblower shared with us that a NAVLE grader has bragged that his work includes failing test takers of color, stating not to worry because I will keep the brown ones out. And a couple of years ago, I would have been like, no way are veterinarians doing that. And now, after my experiences dealing with the leadership in the veterinary profession, absolutely. There is so much racism in the veterinary profession.
Man, no one's safe anywhere. It's like, here's your avenue out. Get an education, work real hard. Just joking, not so fast.
Yeah. About a minute to wrap up. So, and we also got some FOIA documents at the Washington State University Bear Research Center. That is very concerning. That maybe we'll talk about next time, because I don't know if we have time.
Or maybe we could do a show. Maybe we could do an All Beings Considered. That'd be good. Maybe we could do it on that one.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Let's do it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for Vegan World Radio. I'm Skyjack Morgan on YouTube, and Crystal Heath is Crystal Heath on YouTube if you want to hang out and check us out on other platforms. Thank you so much for checking out Vegan World Radio with us, and please drop a donation at kpft.org for KPFT. It's so important that we keep listener radio alive. And thank you to our engineer, Blue. What a pleasure it is always working with you every other week. And tune in next week as we've got other people who are going to be on the show next week, and we can't wait to see that. Thank you.
Kind of fight when corporations keep the truth far from our sight, but the ones who see the truth can't ever let it go. The truth is alive on Vegan World Radio. Vegan World Radio, Vegan World Radio. It's time to live, it's time to grow. Vegan World Radio, Vegan World Radio. An animal-free fandango. kind of chaos, a daunting planetary plight, temperatures reaching annual record heights. If the world ends tomorrow, I'll see you in the afterglow. The postmortem's live on
Hello,
video.
this is Jeff Balfour. I have a show called The Other Side of Life. It's a show basically dedicated to the study of near-death experiences. I hope to bring NDE stories,